Okay, let's see if I'm actually doing this right, because we've never done a live. So let's see. Hopefully people can see me. How do I know if you are watching us? Fantastic. So I'm currently talking to myself. Okay, right, let's give it a go. Right, cool. So there we go. Right, I'm going to just talk to myself. I don't know if anyone's watching. I don't know if anyone's going to be viewing us, but I've never done a live before. I thought we'd try it. I'm in, just doing a bit of cleaning and a bit of prepping ready for next week. So we're live. Anything could happen. Probably nothing that entertaining, but if you are watching us, give us a shout and a thumbs up or a comment, because I don't actually know if anyone's watching or how you're watching. I really should have probably prepped this before I started. So we'll see what happens anyway. I'm watching me, which is quite strange actually, because there's a bit of a delay, so I don't know quite how that works. But if you are out there, just give us a shout. And I am getting quite used to talking to myself, doing all of the vlogging and all the bits and the pieces. It's actually much easier now talking to a camera than it is a person. The camera doesn't chat back generally. But we've had a busy week. I thought I'd come in and get everything tidied, because from all of the videos we've been doing, there's a rumour going round that it's a bit of a tip this week, which we'll be covering on this week's Workbench Wednesday. So we're going to get tidied first, and I'm going to prep some stuff ready for next week. And I thought we'd give everyone the chance to view. But someone will have to help me along the way, because I don't know how we find out if people are watching. So if someone can at some point drop me a message, or apparently two people are watching. Hello Jamie, Zach 8147. Hello Zach 8147. So alright, I know that you're watching, Zach, but what do I do? I can type you a message. So if I go, hello Zach, hopefully, Zach, you're going to get a message from me in a minute. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Hello, Jamie. If I click that, I can report, I can remove. I'm not going to remove you, don't worry. Go to the chat. Right, I'm going to just put, hello, Zach. Apparently, I've sent a message. So if I have sent a message, Zach, just put a thumbs up for me, will you, buddy? And then the next thing is, right, Zach, now I know about 400 different ones, so you're going to have to tell me who you are exactly. What we got there. Cool. Well, I think I've sent my first message, Zach, so hopefully all is well, matey. Tell us what you've been playing and what you've been up to. And how are we looking live in high definition? I've got a thumbs up from you as well, so thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So, whether it's just me and you, Zach, or the rest of the world, it don't matter. We're just going to keep prepping and tidying. So I thought I'd start by cleaning the workbench. We're gonna, I think we're going to end up redesigning the wall as well at some point, because we've got that many blooming tools and I just don't quite know. Zach, the Beatles man, of course you are. Blooming heck, I should have guessed from the signpost really. Ah, fantastic matey. Right, I know who you are. Now, why am I typing this? Because you can hear me. Anyway. Right, clearly I've never done this before, so advise me, Zach, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just stand there? Am I supposed to take you around the shop? So I think we're going to redesign this at some point. We've just got so much stuff happening, and I don't know where to put everything. But I will show you what we've had in, Zach. You being a Beatles man, we're going to be doing some work on this next week. Now, how can I see myself? Because there's a bit of a delay. So, if I do that... Okay, yeah, I can see myself. So, this is the J160E. You'll notice the design, very, very similar to Mr. John Lennon's. And that's going to be coming in for a setup which we covered on one of the Workbench Wednesday episodes. So that was really, really cool. I'm prepping that ready for some work the middle of next week. I'll give you the guided tour. I'm hoping I can do this while we're vlogging. Do apologise if you can see up my nose. Cool. So, there's me watching me. And you can see there's a bit of a reaction time because I'm obviously here and that's obviously there. We've got 3 people as well watching, which is lovely. So whoever the third person... Oh, hang on. If I'm watching and Zach's watching and we've got a third person, there's actually only 2 watching because I'm watching myself. So person number 3, please feel free to let us know who you are. Yeah, that's going to be spec'd early next week. We had this in, and it's going to be one of our videos we're doing is talking about these Chibson copies, and this actually isn't too bad. I will not play anything recognisable in case there are any copyright issues, but I'll give you a little blast of how it sounds actually. Not too bad. Not quite as good as John Lennon, but I ain't got a good singing voice either. But this is really, really heavily delayed as well, so it is getting a bit confusing. I will do my very, very best to work out. There's now 4 people watching, but there's only 3 because I'm watching me, obviously. So whoever the other 2 people are, please feel free to say hello and introduce yourself. And if anyone could advise me on what I'm actually supposed to be doing, I'm used to pre-recording all of our videos. So someone said, why don't we do a live? It looks like I'm the right orientation as well, which is quite cool. So that is fantastic. Wonderful. So, prepping guitars for what we're doing next week, which is the Chibson copy, should I say. I've got another Chibson we're working on, which is this one that we've seen before. So we're just getting everything specced out, ready for next week's work. I've got probably a few more coming in, so I thought I'd come in today and just get everything prepped and, well, let me show you how much mess I've made. Oh, this is great. I can just take it up and take it with me. Ah, Pete! Hello, Pete. Yes, this is your guitar, sir. It's absolutely lovely. We are doing most of your spec work today, and then I've got to take your action down. We're going to get you strung up with some slightly lighter strings. But I must admit, I've had about half hour on her this morning, and I think she plays absolutely beautiful. I've already done a demonstration, but if you haven't heard or seen, since my baby left me, found a new place to dwell. I've come to the music den cause Jamie is so swell. I got the blues. Yeah, I'll stop there. The weather's already bad enough. But now it's coming along, Pete. You're in good hands. We just need to do a little bit more work to it. So I think, looking at the diary, I think you're coming in Tuesday. So you should all be done. Any problems? Well, I'll let you know throughout the next 20 minutes or half hour or however long we're on here for. So what else are we doing nice? I know what I'll show you. Right. Tailors. Oh, we've been doing the tailors this morning. They are all now finished as well, which is fantastic. So I've been doing neck resets and clean-ups all morning, and I'll show you the state of the desk and behind here. You don't usually get to see all this, so I do apologise for the mess. We usually try and hide it for the videos, but we're live and raw, so who knows what's going to happen. Right, so we are going to give you the guided tour. You could show us things like what you have in the shop and what it's like to own a music shop. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Great to catch up. Thanks. Right, cool. Zach, I'm going to come back to you in just a minute. We've got here. There we go. Let's have a little look. So, Pete, I've spoke to you just. You could show us things like what you have in the shop and what it's like to own a music shop. So, I have the best job in the world, and it really, really is cool. So, we get not only to play with them all day and do all the setups and the bits and pieces, but obviously you lovely people come in and sell them to you, so you can buy and do all the bits and pieces. That's cool. The selling bit is wonderful. The cleaning up's the nightmare, and I'm probably sure that Abby's going to be watching this at home as well, so I've got to make it look like I am actually doing something and not just being stood here. But I've been lucky enough to do this now for probably 20 years, so it was really, really cool. I started back when I was doing work experience, and I was very, very fortunate enough back then. It was lovely on the YTS scheme to get given an opportunity to do something like this, and then just never left. So it's been really, really cool. That is a great, actually, Zach, I think I might take you up on that. We could do like a day in the life of the shopkeeper stroke teacher stroke doing everything else. As you know, we're doing the lessons, we're doing all of the repairs that we've got here as well. But I'll give you a behind the scenes bit of the shop if you want. Right, everything's sort of out of... There we go. Right, we're in darkness at the minute. So I'm going to come round here. So yeah, actually, let me just put myself there. So yeah, if we're on a live and we've got a couple of people watching, if there's anything you want to know, just ask and I'll try and give you an honest answer that's not been pre-rehearsed. Oh. So we've had some orders coming which have not been unpacked yet. We'll be doing that very shortly. This lovely left-handed fender, Zach, you'll like this because you're a lefty if I remember. That's just been done, so I've been finishing that this morning. We've had a load of bits and pieces in from a school, so I'm doing a lot of their work at the moment. Some of these are over here and some bits there. You'll recognise that from our video a long time ago. But some of these pieces are going to be done for a school. We've got boxes to unpack. We've got bits of stock that I've got to do and the pricing. That's the worst bit, Zach, is the pricing, because you put your tags down and you can never remember where you've put anything. But it's quite cool. But we've got some empty spaces that we've got to get filled up with. We've got prices behind here that we've got to do. And I've just got your message. You could do like a day in the life of a shop owner, that also the ups and the downs. That isn't... can I see myself there? That is a good idea, actually, Zach. To be fair, I've never done anything like that. We've done a day in the life of a tech. I don't even know where I'm looking, so I do apologise. I haven't done one of those for a long time. We started off with a day in the life of a tech. I did a couple of different episodes, and that was something that was quite fun. So I can't believe we've been going for 15 minutes already as well. Crikey, O'Reilly. Cool. So, yes, I will do that, Zach. That sounds like a good idea, actually, mate. We could do the pitfalls, the frustrations, the negative bits. Well, I'll show you what we've been doing. This is for a lovely gentleman. He's had a Taylor 114, and we've just done a bit of a neck reset on that. So that's all finished. He'll be coming to pick this up the middle of next week, I believe. So this is absolutely lovely. So that is done with the other Taylors. So we can sign those bits off. But I'll show you what we actually have to do these Taylors, because it looks quite an easy thing to take the neck off, but there's a bit of an art to it. And I'll show you how and what we have to organise. And in fact, I've been putting this job off for about 3 weeks now, so I'm going to do it. Being as people are watching, I've got to make myself not look lazy. We're going to go through the Taylor equipment that I have to use. So let me just get this back up here. Okay, cool. Right. Let me just quickly clean. And yeah, there's more people watching, so thank you very much to the other more people who are watching as well. And as I say, if the lives are something that you guys think might be quite an important thing, I might be a bit boring just watching me clean the workbench really, but yeah, what do you want to know? What do you want to hear? I can try my best. We've spoke briefly about doing some different videos regarding Zach's suggested days in the life, which is absolutely brilliant. That's a good shout, that is, Zach. Yeah, the pitfalls, the behind the scenes stuff like this is just really, when do you get a chance to clean? Because we, out the shop, we have you lovely customers come in. We then have to do these repairs sort of either throughout the day. If it's anything a little bit more expensive, they will always be done sort of out of hours or by a specialist appointment. Then we're going to start teaching. So obviously the students all come in. Then by the time you've got through that, you think, well, what do we do now? So let me just get this cleaned and we'll organise my Taylor shins. That's something that is a bit of a boring job, but I'll explain how it works. Let me just get rid of that mat. That can go there. That can go there. See, already I said I was going to tidy up and I'm just shoving things. Do you ever do that when you was a kid? You'd sort of tidy your room. And I know I'd do this. I'd tidy the room. It'd all be absolutely immaculate. And then the last 5 minutes of the tidy, when you couldn't be bothered, you just shove things under the carpet, or you just put it there and scribble it away. So let me put these away properly. Well, that goes there, that goes there. And where's my cup of tea, actually, which is cool. Oh, sorry if anyone doesn't like drinking on tea, but I'm bloody parched. Cool. So, we're a little bit tidier. Zach, do you think anyone would be interested in running through the bench, seeing what's in each drawer and what I've got in there? Do you think that could be a good idea? I'd do it. I'm used to getting string white around a peg and also... Okay, best way to restring, that wouldn't be a bad shout. Again, it's always... where am I situated with regard... If I'm out of shot, you'll have to just let me know. Yeah, there's quite a few things we've got coming up, actually. We've got the video segments that we're doing. So we're doing our shorts that you've all been watching, our cleaning videos and whatnot. We're now going to try and also talk about just different segments of the shop. So it's already been highlighted about you having the option of the day in the life. I think that's quite a good idea, actually. Restringing videos. Someone else has asked for that on our TikTok. And I think I might do that. A couple of different ways that you can restring this or restring that. I won't say the wrong way to do something, because I don't think there's a wrong way to do anything really. What might suit one might not suit another, but I think I could definitely do something around that. So you're useless at getting the string winding round the peg. You know what, Zach, I think as a world first I'm going to do a live lesson in how to put a string on. So let me find a guitar in a minute that needs a string and I'll show you some little top tips. So in about, what time is it, 3:15? I'll go till you guys get bored, and we've got a few more people watching as well, so thank you very much to everyone that's watching. I'm sorry to eat up into your Sunday, so wherever you're watching from, whether it be home or in the bath, or well, how would you have your phone in the bath? Wherever you're watching from, thank you very much, greatly appreciated. But I might do that in a sec, Zach. I'll if I get my Taylor stuff done first, let me do that, and then if I don't do it on this live, I'll definitely do a restringing video, because a couple of people have asked for that, what they do and little tips and tricks. There's so many different ways, so I'll do that. Yeah, so we've got Pete in. Pete, I've spoken about your guitar, it's doing lovely, don't worry. Zach, obviously, we've got another couple of 2 or 3 people watching, so please do let us know who's watching, because it is easy to answer the questions when you kind of fire them at me, really, actually. I do like this. It is weird though, because I'm watching you. Well, I'm not watching you. You're watching. I'm watching the phone, but I'm watching the screen, and I'm pointing there, and my arm is now going up. So there's about a 4 or 5 second delay. So it's quite weird actually watching myself back with the delay. Let's do the Taylor stuff. So, how a Taylor preset works. This is quite important. We have all these shims, and the problem is with these shims is they go absolutely everywhere. So we have to each week catalogue what do I need to order, what is spare. So with a Taylor, and I'll try my best to do this with, I'll get my whiteboard. Let me get my whiteboard. Okay. So, okay. So, I'll explain how the Taylor system works. For those that, I don't know whose work that was, but we're going to rub it off anyway. This is more important. Right. So, how a Taylor neck system works is we have our 2 shims. Our heel shim, looks a bit like, and I'm going to put that just there for a moment. Our heel shims look like these. So these things. And if I grab a Taylor, I'll grab Alistair's, because I've just been working on that. I was going to say I couldn't have aimed for that. I've just got caught on the peg. So where we are here, this section, one of these will be just underneath. Our top segment of the Taylor will have, depending on the Taylor, of course, we've got big babies, we've got baby Taylors, but in this case, of it being a 114, we'd have our standard shims. So I'll show you how these work. Did cover this on one of our Taylor videos before. So if you imagine, we have a partnership, so we've got that and that. And if you imagine that piece there, that's what sits underneath and on top, which sounds quite simple. However, I'm just going to put this guitar down because it's worth more than my car. Beautiful. So we've got our heel shims. You'll notice, and I've done this before, let me try and zoom in. So I do apologise if the clarity's out there. That's -18. This is -14. So we have to have a difference of 6. So you can't just shove anything in there. We have to check the tolerance. And usually with these, what you'll do, you'll take the neck off. And again, could be an idea, Zach, where we take the neck off, and I might do something like that live, a live repair, to show this in a bit of a greater detail, really. But we'll take whatever number that we're on, and we would look at the difference of 6. So I will explain. So you get a free maths lesson on a Sunday. So for anyone who's going to school, I do apologise. So we would have, let's say we're at, we'll start with 0. So we could have then +6. If we were at 2, we'd have +8. If we were at 4, so on and so forth, we'd have +10. Now what that does, so if you imagine this is going to be my guitar neck, so there's my guitar neck, okay, professional that is, and your strings are going to be running across here. Now the distance between the string and the board is what everyone, when they're coming to this shop, the first thing they always say to us is, the action, can you adjust my action? I need it bringing down. What Taylor have got is this very, very cool system that we can alter the neck angle. So rather than sanding our saddle down and bringing it down to bring the strings lower, we can actually bring the neck pocket up or down if you want to go down, and we can bring the strings closer or further away. So it's very, very clever. So if you imagine we were at here, let's say we've got a 0 and a 6, right, just there, and you want to increase that. Well, what you do is you'd come along the correct number that you want. Let's say we wanted, we'll go for 10, and then we'd have obviously plus 16. And that's what you would do. They'd have to marry up in numbers of 6. Why it's 6, it's just their method and what they do. But that would allow you to change it, which is really, really cool. It's one of the most unique things about the Taylor guitar, so they're really quite cool. Got a couple of, what else we got here? What tools we're using here, we have them. Yeah, that's that. I could do that. That's no problem at all, Zach. So, again, it's a really, really good question. So if I was doing a Taylor guitar, we have specific tools for that particular brand. So I would have, we'll have a Taylor segment. This is just going to be about Taylor for the next 5 minutes. So if you're not into Taylor guitars, do forgive me. But again, being our first live, I am sorry if this is boring for people, I really am. So this is how we adjust our truss rod. I'm going to use Alistair's guitar, so I'm sure he's not going to mind me using him as a guinea pig. But let's show you how it works. I'll be just one moment. Did you miss me? So I'm going to very carefully just take off Alistair's cover. But that's a good idea. I think we could do that, Zach. We could do, what would I do for a fret level, or what would I do for anything specifically? I think that would be a good shout, really. Yes, great to catch up with you as well, Pete. I do apologise. I've just realised how this works. Yes, great to catch up with you, Pete. We'll be seeing you on, I think it's Tuesday. So if I am wrong, you can just let me know in the chat here. I'll get this off. Now, if you were watching this on one of our normal videos, this would all be edited and it'd be done, but this will be in real time, so do forgive me. That's a big tip, Zach. Get a pot. If ever you're doing any screwing or taking anything away, it's really important not to lose the screws, because the times I've done, that's the worst bit of this job. If you put a part down that you need, it really, really is absolutely ridiculous. Right, there we go. There's one screw I dropped earlier. Right, let's get in the pot. So, we take this away, and you'll see, try and get this in the camera. You'll see just in there, we've got our nut. So Taylor have a very specific tool for adjusting that. That's the screw end that you're supposed to use to take the screws off, but I always like using a screwdriver. That then would be bespoke to Taylor's way of doing their truss rod, so that fits theirs and theirs only. I have got other guitar ones. I've got PRS Allen keys. I've got other bits and pieces that are quite cool as well. So I think let's start looking at what we could do. So we've got, and this is all courtesy of Zach, so thank you very much, Zach, for some of these ideas. We've got a day in the life video. Day in the life. I always see those every morning. You get up and you flick onto your Facebooks and your Instagrams and whatever other social media that you're using, and you see all these fitness people, and they're up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're having all these healthy breakfasts. They've done a 20-mile run. And then I'll roll out of bed about 8:15 and then have a bit of toast. So I wouldn't be good for a fitness day in the life. That one I could tell you, mate. So day in the life would be cool. What else did you say? Sorry, Zach. You said, yeah, restringing. So if we try and do a restringing video, that'd be really cool. Restringing. We could do a tools that we're using. I'll do some little segments now. I'm going to wipe off my Taylor one. So yeah, do apologise if this is boring to folks, but whoever is watching, if you have got a question, I'll do my very best to try and answer it in whichever way I can. So I'm going to put that there for a moment. Day in the life, restringing and some tools. And it's good to do this because, again, for us, Zach, you asked a question about 20 minutes ago about what it's like to have a shop. And the best thing now that's come for us is this social media side of it. It's something that we've never really done that much of, but obviously we're doing more and more and more now. And there are folks on here, again, there's another couple that have joined us. I can see the viewers at the top. And there are people all over the world now that are interacting with us, and that's been really, really nice. And that wouldn't have come really unless it was for this. So it's been really nice to get to know everyone through that. Obviously, I've known yourself for a while. Pete, the man whose guitar we've got, he popped in the other day, and it's exactly things like that. He knows we've got the guitar. He knows I haven't sold it because he can see it. Unless anyone wants to buy this beautiful guitar, then I'll have to have an arm wrestle with Pete. So that'd be quite cool. I'll do some of those day in the life restrings and tools. I might even do something about how this has changed for us and given us an opportunity moving forward to interact with you guys. So what would typically happen, the customer comes through the door and you come into the shop and you do all these kind of things and we chat to you and we do all that. Now, well, this is the first live I've ever done. I've never ever sat down and done anything. I've seen them before and I thought, well, it can't be that difficult, can it? And it is that easy. I've pressed record, we're here, you can all see us. The comments are really cool. Do apologise if you're going to hear me hearing me. I just need to see how this works. So, can I hear me?
What would I do for anything specific?
Yeah, so okay, so
would be a good shout.
Fantastic, wicked. So, the YouTube segments have been brilliant, and it's just given us a chance now to get to meet loads and loads of new people. And from a time point of view, and hopefully people watching will have an agree. Hasn't life just sped up? Everything is just going so quickly now. So the idea of us being open from so-and-so to so-and-so doesn't always suit everybody. You might have a job, you might have something where you work shifts, you might work away, you might work in another country. We've had that with people. They've dropped stuff off guitar-wise, they've gone to work abroad for 2 or 3 months, come back and picked it up. So the beauty of this sort of social media, they can see that we're doing things and but the YouTube live was suggested by one of our students. He says, why don't you just try it one of the Sundays when you're in? And I said, no, I was going to watch us when he's tidying up. He went, you'd be surprised. So Callum, thank you very much for recommending us, because we've now got 6 people. We've got 5 people because I'm watching me as well. So I've said hello to Pete and Zach. Whoever the other couple of people are watching, please let us know who you are. I'd love to say hello to whoever it is. And again, we're having question hour versus clean up hour. So if anyone wants to know any questions or got any burning questions about music shops, we're just currently discussing tailors and how it works. So we've discussed about these Nexions. So the problem is when you use them, a great guitar tech would make a note of what is used and he'd make that list, he'd check it twice, and then at the end of the week he'd go, I need to order that. Me being me, you use what you need to, and then you forget about it because you're doing something else, or you've got to go and get teaching, or you've got to answer the phone, or someone else pops in, or you have the great idea to go live on YouTube and just sort of see how it works. So it's all cool, it's really, really cool. But these we've got to sort through. I might not do that now because it is really, really boring, but I'll just give you the idea of what's happening. We'll have a joint maths counting lesson. See if anyone can spot what ones are missing. I have to do this every week. So we'll start with the negative numbers. This is like Bruce's Price is Right. So we've got minus 16. We've actually got minus 18. Minus 16. These will be going in twos. Minus 14. Minus 12. I've got another minus 12. Minus 10, and we will basically keep working at minus 8, minus 6, another minus 6. So you do get some duplicates here and there, and this is completely boring. I've got a couple of 4s, and I would have to just work out which ones I've not got. So that'd be quite cool. Chris Indalo watching. Have you tried the fresh system for polishing the frets? Chris, you recommended that to me about, oh crikey, about 6 months ago. I haven't. I did look at a couple of videos and it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have a little 5-minute segment with you. We're going to chat about fret polishing in just a minute. And now that I know you're watching and I can ask you a question, you can answer the question as well. Let's talk about polishing frets as well. So that's a good thing, right? So Zach said down the live restringing and tools. Chris has mentioned that we're going to discuss about fret polishing. Now, we did a video a while back, and I think Chris, that was the video where I did some comparisons of how to clean your frets. We did 2 or 3 different ways. I might have used the metal polish, I think I used some wire wool, and I used some sandpaper, and I think you put the link on there if I'm not mistaken. Zach, thank you very much. And thank you, sir, for it being a great lad. It's very good of it. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I really have got no clue. The videos are very easy because I can edit them. But this being in real time, I didn't think anyone would be watching. So thank you very much, Zach. It's very good of you. But now, Chris, we'll have to discuss that in greater depth because I've seen it advertised and I've seen it done. And us as techs, and obviously we work on hundreds of guitars, it's always great to get people's opinions on what do they think works. But that system, it looks really, really good. Yes, that's right, mate. Yes, I think it was on that fret polishing one. But there's just so many things that we want to cover. Zach's asked, who's I think just gone for his Sunday dinner, he's asked about doing a couple of different segments, day in the life, restringing, what tools do we use. So we could use that as part of a segment actually. I might do a tools and a fret polishing system. Perhaps you can answer the question actually for me, Chris. What's the replenishment like? I mean, do you buy the kit and then do you have to change things, or do you run out of materials? Obviously, if I use like fret polish, you replace it as you run out. But I'd love to know how the system works and if there's anything you can, any benefits to it, or do you have to replenish things, or how long does it last? Do let me know, because it's always nice to talk to you guys. You guys know more than us, and the problems with being a tech, you get very stuck in your ways regarding, I like that polish and I like that lemon oil. So I love Rotor Sound lemon oil. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We're not endorsed by anyone, by the way, in this particular segment. Ernie Ball polish, I love the Ernie Ball polish. I think it's fantastic. So that's what I like to use. But there could be better stuff out there, and I think it really is good to. The old saying is the customer is always right, and I'm a big believer in that, because you guys are going to try more than we ever will. We'll have a particular set of tools that we like to use. My files that I use, quite expensive, but we use them all day, every day. So I always think it's important to have something like that. I sound like a broken record, and I think I said to you last time I was going to check out that kit, but I definitely will. So that's cool. So we've got so far, people want to see a day in the life video. They want to see a restringing, how to put a string on. We've had so many comments on these type of videos before, and I always get that's the wrong way to put that on, you shouldn't do it this way. And again, I never like to rubbish anything and say that anything's wrong. You use what you use, and you obviously have your methods, but there might be a more efficient way of doing things. There's probably more efficient ways that I don't use, but again, being stuck in your ways as a tech, you tend to do what you do, really. But yeah, so if anyone's got any questions, do let us know. If anyone's got any ideas on what they'd like to see, you can obviously let us know as well. So we've typically got a couple of segments that we've been doing this week. We did some reactionary videos. That was an interesting video last, I think it was last night or the night before, regarding the LAX baggage handler. We reacted to those guitars being thrown about, and that was a horrible thing to see. So if you haven't seen that, you can get to see us reacting. Oh, sorry, Chris, you've sent us a message. What does this say? You get the sheets of paper with it. I've had it nearly a year now. Oh, that's not too bad, Matt Kryker. I haven't had to buy more sheets yet. You get sheets 1,500, 4,000, 7,000 and 8,000. Now that is really interesting. So regarding how I go, that's not too dissimilar. It's probably a little bit more professional how I do it. I effectively, I'll show you how I go. Wrong draw. See, this is always going to go wrong. We can't prepare. Where's my sandpaper? So what I tend to do, I have all of my gradients here, and I run from, oh crikey, this goes from 140 grit right up to about 15,000. So what I then do, I'll take each section. Just going to put Alistair out the way for a moment so we don't damage him. Beautiful. I then cut the strips off into some more manageable strips, and then I can go, Pete, I'm borrowing your guitar for a second. Don't worry, I'm not doing this in real time. And then I'd work my way across the frets, and I go 800, 1,000, 1,500, 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, and then I think it goes to 15,000 is the highest mine go up to. But it is a bit of a nightmare, keep cutting off the strips, so I'll definitely have to check them out. They really sound cool. Interesting that they finished with 8,000 as well. Would you use some metal polish after that, Chris, or would you just go up to your 8,000 and then you're done? Again, it's always nice to kind of find out how people are doing these things. So that's cool. Frets, polish, we're going to talk about that at some point later date. The tools that we should use, we'll talk about that at a later date. Restringing down the life, that's very cool. So tail lap, these are done. So apparently my wife has joined the stream. The wife is asking what you want for your tea. Hello, Abby. These lovely people. Are you watching me at home? I am hard at work here, and as you can see, I am up to my eyes in it. I haven't had a chance to even have a cup of tea. Let's show the audience. So this mug was washed about 4 days ago. It's just constantly filled with tea. I'll have whatever you would like to make, love. Thank you for making the stream exceptionally professional by asking what I'd like for tea tonight. Whatever you'd like to cook. So if you're watching this at home, that means you ain't doing no housework. Oh, I'm in for a right smack when I get home. So if I disappear, folks, at the end of this stream and I don't come back ever again, you know what happened. So thank you, Abs. I'll have whatever we're eating later. So how do I look on the big telly? Do I look beautiful and handsome? In fact, don't answer that question because you'll probably use profanity and we don't want any profanity in the chat. So tailor shims, I've got to go through them and work out what I'm getting ordered. So that's that first of all. We've got prep work happening for next week. If anyone hasn't seen our Workbench Wednesdays, you've obviously seen that we do little segments here and there. And we've got 11 people watching. One of them is me and one of them is Abby. Unless she's gone off to make me something nice to eat. So everyone, I've said hello to Chris, I've said hello to Zach. Zach's now gone. Pete, it was lovely to catch up with you. Who else is out there? Who else is watching us? Well, we've got just, I'll just go for the 8 there and then finish. Okay. Not got as good as a setup as you. No, don't ever knock yourself, Chris. I'm sure your setups are absolutely fine, mate. Just on a mat on a chest of drawers in the bedroom. I like that you don't have to mask off the. You know what? I love my job and I love doing all the tech work. The absolute bugbearer of my life is having to tape off the fretboard. It just takes absolutely forever. So it's got to be done now. It's got to be protected. So that's interesting. So you are on a chest of drawers in the bedroom. It don't matter. We are very lucky to have all this. And when we first started, if I've still got it, I'll have to get it out. We had an ironing board that we adapted with, it was pretty much 2 blocks of wood. I haven't got it down. Right, let me make a note. The old restringing. I'll talk about that. I'll see if I can find it. And it was absolutely abysmal, Chris. How it didn't collapse, I will never ever know. But no, never ever write yourself off, matey. Flaming Undies, I always see you. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Using the Music Nomad fretboard cover. Now that's a really good topic. So what do I use? I'll go through a segment of what I currently use. I apologise if this is totally uninteresting to everyone. I am a little bit of a Music Nomad fan. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape or form. Let me just get this off the bench for a moment. I'm going to put that down there. So, we've got, I'll show you what we're doing. And I'm just going to put this on charge as well because apparently we're on 20%. Let me just charge the phone. There we go. So, we've got our Music Nomad mat. These are my files. So when we do all of the, I will do this in greater detail, when we're cutting the nuts and doing all of our things, each one of these are different sizes. So say we had, in fact I've been doing this today, So we've just done a Washburn base, big spoiler. I was going to be showing this on Wednesday, but I might actually show it in advance. So we've got that there. I'll just come out the way. And we would use whatever size gauge is needed to cut our nuts, and these are absolutely fantastic. I use their same things for doing all of the setups. That's how I check all of the nuts. We've got our truss rod gauge, brilliant for seated frets. We're getting a lot of, and again, wherever you guys are watching from, different parts of the world, how are you finding your frets at the moment? I'm seeing so many that are popping up and they haven't been glued down. Do you prefer glued down? We could really make this a big regular Q&A session. Actually, I'm sorry if I'm boring everyone, by the way. Gauge card for that. That's how I do all my strings. How I do my fret crowning. Again, Music Nomad. And this is all just because I've been watching other technicians. And that's the most important thing. Everyone, and Chris said it earlier about his setups not being fantastic. I'm sure your setups are absolutely brilliant, guys. I've learned so much over the years. I'm on year 20 now of doing this. But I still watch people and I'll see new techniques every day of the week. And I think, well, that's a bit bizarre, but I'll give it a try. Sometimes it doesn't work for me and sometimes it does. But the Nomad stuff, it's expensive gear. But for me, working on thousands and thousands of pounds worth of equipment, it's just got to be the right stuff, I feel. So Nomad stuff is wicked, and I always refer to you as Flaming Undies. If you'd like to let us know your name, otherwise I will happily just keep calling you Flaming Undies. But the Nomad stuff is all the tools that I have. I haven't got the fret guard though. I haven't invested in that yet. So where are we? So that covers all of the stuff that we do for all our fret crowning and levelling and whatnot. I then have up here, let me show you what the wall's like. I'll show you the drawers. You've probably got no interest in this, folks, so I really, really do apologise. And I think Adam's just joined. Hello, Adam. It's lovely to see you, sir. I'll get your guitar out in a minute. You can have a little look at it. Now, this is totally unorganised, so do forgive me. I'll show you how I work as a tech. Please feel free in the comments to let me know how terrible it is and how much better everyone else's methods in. So we'll start at the top. We'll make this into a bit of a game show. So what do we think's in drawer number one? Oh, right. So take you through it. This is the kit that me and Chris were talking about a little bit earlier, and Flaming Undies a second ago mentioned about covering the fretboards. So we use these if we're doing our fret protectors, but the overall sheets, I haven't tried them yet, Flaming. You'll have to let me know if they're any good. I keep meaning to invest in one. But we've got in here, so, other fret guards, the Allen keys, string spacers that I don't really use that much these days, but I've got them, they're quite cool. So that's our winders. However, I am a bit lazy these days, and I'm using the Ernie ball more than anything. So that's cool. Drawer number two. These are all of our spares. So if you imagine, let me just bring that down. Lovely. Oh, right. So we've got everything. Switches, pots. I'm thinking of changing this and having them on the wall up there. That's going to be the plan. It's just one of them jobs that I thought I'd get rid of. In fact, I think I promised Abby that when I was meant to be cleaning up today, and I'll do anything to get out the cleaning, i.e. our first ever live. So thank you very much. Let me just turn around so I can see myself. Brad Flanagan, lovely to meet you, Brad, officially. Thank you ever so much for doing all the commenting. It's so much appreciated and lovely. Never been to the US of A. It's a place I'd love to try at some point. So you can let us know. I'd love to know, what is it like being a player in the States? Do you guys, I mean, I've heard of like Guitar Center and some of the bigger corporations out there. What are your techs like? Do you guys have regular music nights? What's the scene like out there? I'd love to know about it. And hopefully one day we'll go to the US of A. If Abby's watching this now, she'll probably be booking a blooming holiday. So at some point in my lifetime, I'd love to get out there. But so obviously, you know, I'm Jamie. Brad, it's lovely to officially meet you. I always call you Flaming Undies in the when I'm responding to you. Oh, it's Patrick. Patrick, right, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to come to Patrick. Everyone can have a look at Patrick in a minute. Right, Patrick, I'm coming to you in 1 sec. God, you've got 14 people. Crikey. I feel like a celebrity here. This is very cool. I'm sorry for eating up into it. So, Brad, you're in the USA. What time is it over in the States? I don't know what the time difference is. So if you can let us know, the time is 3:45 PM in the UK, yeah? So these are all the bits and pieces. Patrick, I'm coming to you in just 2 minutes and I'll show you what we've been up to. Switches, dials, bits and pieces, pins, radius gauges, toothbrush. That's not one that I use regularly, don't worry. That's for getting all under the frets, so I love using these. Sandpaper, get through absolutely loads, but thanks to Chris's recommendation, I think I'm going to invest in one of those kits because I must have more sandpaper than Amazon here. This is absolutely ridiculous. The string counter, I'm going to let you into a little secret. I never thought I'd reveal this. It's probably fairly obvious. When you see some of our videos, we always do a segment where I pull the drawers out and then I pull out the strings. This little black part here always falls off, so I have to reshoot this. I've got to glue that back in. That's the first secret. Let's say we were doing a D'Addario restring, which is what I've done today. What I would do before the shot lines up, I'd just place that about there, pull the drawer open. Oh, how convenient, there it is. So yeah, it is always put in position, but don't tell anyone, it can just be our little secret. So that's there, that's our string drawer. This is a bit of a funny drawer. Right. What else who else we got set? Hang on. Let me just do that. I'm trying to get me in and I'm trying to let me have a look. What? Right, I'm watching me on the iPad as well because you guys are commenting and I'm not able to. Let me just see what's happening live chat. There we go. Oh, hang on. Right, so this is me watching me and I'm trying to work out how I can speak to you guys. Live chat. There we go. Right, does anyone know how I can make that a little bit bigger? Oh, I'm absolutely terrible at this. So, right, we've got 7:45 AM Pacific. Crikey, it's nice and early for you. Right, Patrick, I'm coming to you as well now. I promised you 5 minutes ago I was coming to you and I haven't got to you yet. How do I make these? Does anyone in the comments know how I make these go to the side or can I make them permanent? I'm so useless at this. I'll just plonk it. I'm going to plonk it there so I know what I'm doing because I don't want to miss any messages from you guys. There we go. Right, cool. So this drawer down here, what we've got is all of our cleaning supplies and glue. So we've got some broken headstocks that we're doing. We use Gorilla Glue over here or Tight Bond. Tends to be the good stuff that I do. Evo Stick's also a good brand that I'll generally use. This is just general cloths and cleaning. We do need a better system, I'm fully aware. This is where it gets more entertaining. So what happens down here, we've got, this is where the magic happens. And you'll have to forgive me, folks, I'm absolutely parched. We've got Allen keys. We have got all of our crowning supplies, our foils. This is how I clean all the fretboards, as I'm sure you know. Cutters, wire cutters, strimmers, strippers. All of our screwdrivers. So these used to be in a really specific order and then I just didn't get them done at all. They were absolutely useless. But anything in here, ratchets, spanners, screwdrivers, that is specific for a tailor. So if I need to remove the neck, that is for tightening any sort of nuts over the machine heads. They're quite cool. We've got, what else we got in here? Capos. I always end up with about 300 of them. For any time I'm trying to save the strings, we can always capo them up. Spare nuts, spare washers. We've got all kinds of things. Rubik's Cube for when I'm bored. So yeah, I can do a Rubik's Cube when I'm bored. What else we got? We've got Patrick, I am coming to you in a minute. I keep saying that. Oh, juggling balls. Yeah, these are cool. So while I'm waiting for the wood to dry and anything like that, what I can do is just sit and entertain myself. So it's great, Brad, you can sit here. And now this is live, so if I drop these like that, I'm going to look an absolute idiot. Let's see how we can get on. Oh, the world's watching me. Look at this. How many guitar techs can juggle? Let us know in the comments. So we've got in here all of our inspection cameras, my goggles for if I'm doing any fret work, any of my files. We have got then down here spare parts. So these we've got knobs and dials, washers, switches. We have got all sorts of things. Someone could come in with a specific size. We hopefully have got it. That does need sorting out. Again, it's one of those things I really should be doing and I just haven't got round to doing it. So that puts us in that bit for now. Right, that's all the rubbish that needs to be sorted before we do any more. Let me just bring that round as well. Cool. So that's where we get to. Patrick, I'm coming to you now. So we have been doing Patrick's left-handed Fender. He very, very kindly bought it in, and it had a bridge action that was very, very high. So you're going to get a sneak peek of this, Patrick. Let me just show you. You're meant to be coming in on Tuesday, but I'm going to take you lovely people with me. Oh, it's lovely to speak to everyone as well. Thank you ever so much for you guys joining us. I am so sorry if this is boring. This is Patrick's left-handed Fender. Now it's got electric strings on. It's been fully set up, and his bridge that was really, really, really high is nice and low. So we've done that now. Been doing absolutely loads. Brad, those parts, that is a really, really good question. So, you know what, I'm going to speak about this. This is a really, really good question to ask, so thank you ever so much. Adam, that Fender is beautiful. The only problem is Patrick's a left-hander and he's tougher than me, so if I try and take it off him, he'll beat me up. Brad, that's a fantastic question. Those parts, I don't know what it's like over in the USA, and I love this country that we're in, but we are a little bit of a disposable society. Everything just gets thrown away, unfortunately. So with guitars, you'll see them for here. Forgive my ignorance to the American culture. I think you guys have got like Craigslist and things like that. We'd obviously use Facebook, and I'm sure you use eBay, and we use eBay. And there's people that will donate things to us, but I keep everything. I'm an absolute hoarder. I just will throw nothing away. And if Abby is still watching, I'm sure she will contest to that in the comments. But I won't throw anything. So there's probably 20 years worth of stuff there. And you'll see broken headstocks, stuff thrown away in skips and bins, trash cans for obviously you guys in the States. But we're very lucky. We work closely with a lot of recycling centres and places locally. So anything that's broken or going to get thrown away, we can make use of it. We can take those parts off. I'm going to show you something else in just a second. I'm going to take you down here. Hopefully you can see a great big blue box over in the far corner, big tall blue thing there. So any of the equipment that we have, people donate bits of pieces financially, and then we can use those to cover the costs to fix local schools' equipment, to just reduce the bills down for the schools. What the music might be like for your schools in the States, I'm not quite sure. But it is a little bit of a dying art in the UK. And again, for anyone watching who's got children in school, how are you finding the music? Are they doing anything? Are they learning? Do they offer music lessons like they used to? Everything is very slightly different over here, and I'm finding now that the schools just haven't got the budget to keep doing it. So with all those spare parts we've got there, Brad, what I can do if anyone comes in and they just need a washer or a nut, there's no cost because we've got loads of them, and anything just to keep the kids playing as best as we can. So that's a really good question. Thank you very much. But it's my fault for keeping everything. I just can't throw anything away. I just absolutely love it. How long have we been going? Right, let me just see what we're doing. Who else am I speaking to as well? We've got, so Adam, I hope you're keeping, yeah, I'm going to get onto Adam's guitar in a minute. Patrick, your guitar is done, sir, and I think I'm seeing you on Tuesday for your collection. So, yes, it's all done, so you can come and have a little go, which is obviously brilliant. Brad, I've just been talking to you about the parts. Let me talk a bit about Harley Benton. I'm going to speak about Adam's Harley Benton in a minute. This was a really, really unique thing, and hopefully Adam won't mind me talking about it. Music programs are dire. Brad, I've just read your message. I don't know what everyone else thinks, and this, first of all, thank you ever so much to however many people are watching at the moment. Because we started an hour ago and I haven't got a clue what we were going to do, and I could do this for 5 or 6 hours. That is a really good discussion topic. I think we might do this a bit more regular, have a few live segments. What with schools, I wasn't the most educated gentleman when I was at school, as you can tell, look at me. So for me, the arts, there wasn't a way of sort of falling into it. It was just an absolute calling for me. I was never going to do anything else. I was never going to fly to the moon. I was never going to cure a disease as a doctor. I was always going to play an instrument, something arty. So for me, I just feel that not every kid's going to be academic. Not everyone is destined to go on to do what they want to do in maybe a literary motion. Maybe they're going to be a teacher. I've ended up as a teacher. I tutor guitar here. I'm not doing it full time. I'm doing this. We're doing the shop, but I teach. Never ever imagined I'd have the privilege of doing that. So at the time of taking those music lessons at school, if you'd have said to me 15, 20 years later that me and my wife would be lucky enough to have this, and it's not much, but it's our little shop and we absolutely love it and it's brilliant, and I'll give you the proper guided tour at some point. But it's getting worse and worse and worse. Adam, I've just seen your response. I'll speak a little bit about it. In fact, if everyone is watching, there's a gentleman there. He will. What have you seen? My left hand. It looks gorgeous. It's Patrick. It's beautiful. The fender. I've given it a little polish, and it's lovely. Yeah, we'll talk about the Harley Benton thing in just a minute. Brad, I'm going to just finish off with you now. So yeah, I think it's really important that the music just keeps going through the schools. And again, it's going to be a video topic I think I'm going to talk about. In fact, I've made my mind up. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I'm boring everyone. I've really enjoyed this. And I feel like I'm talking to the world here. It's great. And I look a right idiot just talking to the camera. But no, this is wonderful. We're going to talk about the importance of that music in school. Because my attention will just wane. I'm over there. It's always just... I'd have been a daydream, we would have called it at school. And as soon as that idea hits, you've got to just run with it. And I just feel it's the circle of music, really. It's a bit like the circle of life. So you've got to have that kid learn at school. That kid on my imaginary... In fact, I'm not going to have an imaginary board. I'm going to get a whiteboard. Where's my whiteboard? Here it is. Right. This is what I think is wrong with... where have I put my pen? If you imagine... Right. Let's use this as an example. How does it look on the camera? Right, okay. Crop you up there. So let's just use an analogy. This could apply to you, Brad, as well. Let's say you've got a child or a small person. So they're going to go to a concert. They're going to see a band. They're going to see an artist. They're going to see some sort of performer, artist. They're then going to go to their local music shop, someone like us, music shop. They're then hopefully going to purchase an item, or drums or bass or guitar. They're then hopefully going to take some lessons. From those lessons that they have, hopefully they're going to, this circle's a much less circular circle than I thought. They're hopefully going to get the band together. Now that band then, they're going to rehearse, so they're going to need rehearsal rooms. We're going to need more equipment. They're going to need to get vans to transport it all in. Then they're going to go to the venue. The venue there is where the child first saw them. So if you think that child goes to see, the venue apologise, venue would be over here. They go to see the band at the venue. Get inspired, run to the music shop, that's where we come in. They have lessons with us, that's still where we come in. They then do all the rehearsals, get their set together, get their equipment, do all the thing, buy a van, hit the road tour, and then they become what they were as children. They have now missed that step. They're over here. They have become the inspired. And that for me is the circle of music. Now the problem is, not everyone can afford lessons in a private educational matter. Not everyone can afford to go out and buy new equipment. Not everyone can afford to tour and hit the road. If anyone's watching this that's in a band, I'd love to tell us what it's like out there, because we are seeing you guys week in, week out over the years. It has changed. Our customers now are not necessarily, I've got a gig on Friday, I need to get something sorted, I need to get this done, I need this guitar sorting. That was the norm 10 years ago. Oh, every day of the week, strings broke, equipment's gone, we're on tour, we need this. Those artists are not performing as much. Correct me if I'm wrong, and please tell me, for Chris and Brad and Adam and everyone who's watching, and if you're in another country as well, what's it like for that gigging scene out there? Because I do think it's an ever-evolving thing, and again, it's a topic we're going to speak about. But you look at this here, because they couldn't afford that. Now, if we can come in with some of those parts that I've been hoarding, or donations that we've had, well, I can sort some equipment, that's no problem. I need a pen, We can sort some equipment out. And the lessons, well, obviously, if the school were to offer the lessons, let's say the child can learn in their education, you can always get some equipment. It might not be the best, it might be pre-owned. I started off with something that was pre-owned, and it's done me the world of good. They've got the lesson. We can make the circle work, but it's just one of those sort of things. I really think this has got to change. And again, I don't even know if you can see me board as I'm writing it. Brilliant show, Jamie. Hope there's more to come. Pete, it's the first thing we've ever done. I've never done this live before, and I'm speaking to some lovely people. So if you guys would like a live from time to time, I'll do my best to try and do it. Wouldn't be like an every week thing or something, but every now and then I'll try and do a live if I can, maybe an after hours thing, or on a Sunday. What else are we doing? Adam, we're going to speak about Harley Benton in a second. Gigging changed and worse after the lockdown. Mike, right, everyone say hello to Mike in the comments. You'll recognise Mike. We had his beautiful pink HM Fender Strat in that caused me a couple of problems. Mike was absolutely lovely with his voice. Thank you very much, Mike. In fact, I'll show you some of Mike's equipment. Mike, I hope you don't mind. If you don't want me to, just let me know in the comments and I won't show anyone. But he's bought some lovely gear in. But Mike, a gigging performer, again, how was the COVID found you guys in as players? Exactly, venue shutting down. So as we go back to this circle, right? Let's just redraw this circle a little bit. Let's just redraw. God, this is turned into like, this is politics out now. This is. So let's start again. So we've got our child. That child is there. He's going to learn, hopefully, at school, but if he doesn't, he goes to the venue. Now, Mike has just hit on a very important subject. The venues are closing. Brad, if you're still with us in the States, what are the venues like for you? Is there many of them? You know, as a ignorant gentleman to what's happening over in the States, you hear of your big venues, your Grand Ole Opries and your Carnegie Halls and stuff, but what is it like a couple of blocks from where you live? Have you got a local venue? Be interesting to hear how that sounds. So thank you very much, Mike. I'll show you your gear in just a second. So there's the venue, which could be closing. So that is under fire there. We've got problems. Let me see if I can grab another pen. Hang on. I'll be just watch the whiteboard for 1 second. I'm back, right. So the venues, we then, as we said earlier, they've seen the band or the group at the venue, they're going to then come to the music shop. Now, us as a shop, second-hand is really important because we said not everyone can afford their brand new equipment. So I think it's really important for us to carry the spares. But some of the folks that are watching that are in this country, and hopefully they'll all agree, it is a bit of a wasteful society, so things are getting chucked away. This is why we're salvaging everything as much as we can. They then might have lessons. Now, those lessons could either be in the school, like we said, or it could be with someone like us or a local music tutor. We then, again, the circle's not a circle anymore, forgive me. We're going to get the band together. We need rehearsal rooms. So we've got to rehearse. We've then got to buy a van. We're going to hit the road. Perhaps we're going to be having our t-shirts printed and our own branding material. So you can see how much money is generated and how much is spent and how much is received for this. But if that child can't get to the venue, as Mike said a little while back, what's Mike said here as well, and a lot of the ones that are still open don't want to pay too much for bands. It's a great comment, Mike. So what we've now got to think of for a minute, and I'm going to do a segment on this in full. This is quite interesting. So Brad, thank you for bringing up the teaching, and Mike, thank you for sharing your thoughts, because this could be quite an interesting discussion. So that venue now, we've got to think of the venue. Perhaps footfall is decreasing if they've got no one coming through the doors. How are we going to keep that venue open? They can't afford to pay the band, but the band, as we've just established, have got vans and equipment on hire. Perhaps they've got loans that they've used to take some of this equipment. If you're trying to fund this yourself and you've not got any management or backing, it can be quite expensive. So that venue there, with them being open or not being open, it's a really important thing. So Mike, that's a great concept. How are we finding the places where they are? And fair enough to the venues doing what they do. I'd love to get someone on that has a venue and they could run us through their costs, because I'm sure us as mere spectators could imagine, oh, it's not going to be this, but I bet their overheads could be a lot more than we imagine. Perhaps their budgets that they were given to get the bands and the artists, that might have changed. We don't know. What have we got here? It goes to list of gigging. Fair, it goes to a lot of gigging bands. Yeah, exactly. And gigging bands, are we doing it for the love of it? Are you a full-time professional? Because if you are a full-time professional, this is certainly going to impact, and maybe this is where things start to change. Maybe that gigging band, and it's a great example that is, Mike, maybe instead of just playing, perhaps we might also be teaching and tutoring. That could be a way that we could be doing it. And if you're in with the schools, again, if the schools had the budget, it comes back to Brad's original discussion of it being quite dire in the schools for that education. And again, if anyone knows anyone that's working in the schools, I'd love to hear. Can we do anything to help? We've got bits of equipment that gets donated to us that we can pass on. We'll of course do anything to try and help, the kids playing in the schools. Brad, where you live, small bar gigs, older crowd, youth are playing big cities like Seattle. I'm going to be about 3 hours from Seattle. Now, again, I don't know anything about the States other than you guys can drive for hours and hours and hours and still be in the same state. And I moan about driving 10 minutes to get to work. So that's absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unreal. Yes, karaoke's and discos. So there's us thinking about this purely as musicians, guitarists and players. I'm just going to plug in because we are on a little bit of a low battery. There we go. So it really is one of those kind of things where it drops and changes, but we're definitely going to speak about that at some point, because it then affects us as a music shop. We, as a tech, if you guys are not out there banding and playing and doing bits and pieces, I'm not setting up work and I'm not really doing those sort of things. So the knock-on effect of it can be really, really... well, it's like everything and anything. There's always going to be another link further down the line. This is something we'll come back to. I didn't think we'd actually be talking about this, so thank you for that so far, guys. That is, we'll chat about this at a later date. I'm going to just jump to Adam, if Adam is still watching. So I'll be one more moment. Whoa. So this is Adam's Harley Benton. You might have seen it on one of the Workbench Wednesday segments that we did. And well, if Adam, first of all, are you still watching? If you are still watching, remind me about the situation, and I'll tell these lovely people who are watching. But it's quite interesting. So with these, they are EMG pickups. So let me just take you over here. So we've got some EMGs that are in here, and I'm going to open the back up. So this is live that everyone can see this. Okay, right. So this would happen in quick time if we were doing our normal videos. There we go. Right, so if I pop this open. Wonderful. So that is the current setup of what this guitar has. Yes. Oh, Adam, you're there. Right. Adam, share with me, if you wouldn't mind, the story of this. It's going to be in the comments, but I'm obviously then going to relay the conversation that we had. Yes, Mike, you're right. It's absolutely beautiful, this is. But Adam's going to hopefully type a little message in just a second, and then I'll relay the story back to what happened. So I think this was an online purchase, and obviously it's come through. The Harley Benton stuff, we're getting so many of these come through the door now. And again, online only, I believe, with a lot of places, and obviously Toman being the distributor. It's not something that we stock ourselves, but I'm seeing these every day of the week. So for anyone who's bought an online guitar, obviously like Adam, he's brought it into us for us to set up. How are you finding something that's been bought online out the box? Is it playable? Are you finding it needs a lot of work? I'm always interested to know that, because we generally have to tweak little bits and pieces, but there are a few guitars that are coming in where the setup is already absolutely phenomenal, and there's nothing really we need to do. Again, it's personal preference. You might like slightly lower action or a higher action, but you can obviously do all the bits and pieces. So Adam looking nice. I didn't know the Matus nice ones. Yes, Brad, there's some, I must admit, some of the Harley Benton stuff we've had the last couple of months in, the colours are absolutely phenomenal. And again, from a retailer point of view, I think if you can pay less and get more, then that's obviously the answer, isn't it, really? The more you can get, little bang for your buck. So, yes, so thank you, Adam. This should have come solderless. So if you imagine, we've got these EMGs, and it's as if I prepared this conversation. We've got some solderless setups, but they should have actually already been included. So it's actually come wired, which is really, really, really strange. It's been rectified, and Ad's got all the stuff he needs, which is wonderful. Guess who's got to put it together? Thank you, Adam. Be absolutely fine. So Mike, who's complimented Adam on this. Adam, that's Mike, who had the pink one. That's the man who caused me all of those problems. I mean, who gave me all those opportunities. So yeah, we'll be doing that at some point. And I've even got my instruction book, so we can go through all them. That'll hopefully be on the bench this week. So yeah, you imagine Adam's surprise. He's opened this up. We've got a wired system here, and it should actually be solderless. So at some point, somewhere down the line, obviously, something's gone wrong, but it's been done and rectified, and I'm here to save the day, so it'll be all right. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Right, Mike, what we got there? Guitars are ridiculous value for money. Beginner guitars are much better than when I started playing in '87. That is a fantastic comment. So when I started playing, I haven't got it at the shop. I started playing on a Stratocaster style copy. I know it's a very issuous topic at the moment, Strat style designs, because we've just had obviously the Fender video that we reacted to with the news of the imitation models, and I think it was a PV Raptor, and it would have been probably 100 quid. Brad, for you in the States, I'm sorry, I don't know the dollar conversion, so it would have been about £100 over here with a little amp. and it was okay. It got me started, and it was fantastic. I was very, very fortunate. My mum and dad gave me that opportunity because I tried the keyboard, and yeah, fell out of love with that after about 10 minutes. It wasn't quite rock and roll enough for me, and tried a few things, but they did. My mum and dad supported me, got me a little guitar package, and it was brilliant. I'm now looking at what you can get for 99 quid, and it's just fantastic. I think Mike's a spot on comment there. Absolutely fantastic. Where are the next 5 years going to be for that sort of design? You know, what are we going to be getting for £100? Brad, forgive me, I know it's not dollars, or whatever the conversion would be for your area. And for you, Brad, obviously in America, what is a budget guitar in terms of US dollars, or what do you get for that sort of money? Is it higher end stuff? I was speaking to a contact in Australia the other day. He was watching us, and he commented on trying to purchase an Epiphone. I think he was looking to buy in Australia, and it was just an unreal amount of money what he was going to have to spend. Again, different tariffs, different price points, and different brands, and that was absolutely crazy. Speaking to him about that. Ad, what have we said? Sorry, to be honest, I even question EMGs because they look on the EMG site. Different Harley Benton ones. EMG confirmed they are custom EMGs specifically for Harley Benton. So again, the endorsement things, and you look at guitars now that are coming with. Well, I'll give you an example. I've got a Strat here, right? So here's a lovely Strat. I can't see if I'm in shot, so do forgive me if I keep moving. So we've got here, this is a vintage, I think it's Midnight Wine, and this is one of the customers that we're doing some work on, and you'll notice it's got a Seymour Duncan in the bridge position. So let's take Mike for example. He's had put in his HM Strat, them EMGs. We've got Adam obviously with his, which are fantastic. So when we first had these kind of guitars, guys, when we was learning like back in the day, the idea of just changing pickups, we were lucky enough just to have the guitar. The fact that we can now just fully customise this is brilliant. But it makes me wonder, if you were to go out and, let's say, buy this now, would that put you off having a different branded pickup? Or would you actually say there's a benefit to it? Everyone's got a different thought on this. Some people like the original engines. If they're buying that car, they want it to have all the original parts. Some people think, hey, a free upgrade's a free upgrade. So what's your thoughts on alternative things? If you were to see that second hand, picked it up, would you want to try and get the original one back in? Or would you be happy with something that technically shouldn't have been there? Yes, Midnight Wine, that is. So Fender do some really, really funny colours. Over the years, we've had, what was the one that I had years ago? It was a particular red, obviously the Candy Apple Red, they've got the Fiesta Red, Midnight Wine. You guys are more experts than I am, so you're going to know more of the colours and the range. But that's the thing, how many more colours can we come up with? When we were looking at painting this place, we only wanted some white, and there must have been 37 different colours. We just want some white, but again, each one has just got its own little tint, and it's the same for guitars. So with Adam's this one, I'll give him a little bit of a... So Ad, you can help us out. What is the official colour on that? It looks, I'm going to say something burst, charcoal burst, or something along them lines. I really should have done my research before pulling this out. Again, Indonesian made as well. So it's interesting now seeing a lot of these over the years. We've had them from China, we've had them from India, we've had them from Singapore, we've had them from Indonesia. We work on a lot of Korean, Japanese. I've got, you'll like this, you guys. I haven't showed this anyone yet. This is a vintage Japanese Ibanez. I should know the model number. I did some research on this. This is really, really lovely. So we've got licensed under Floyd Rose. It was the patent, so it's one of the first runs. I'm going to try and show that everyone. I'll turn it round in a minute. We've got this, and this is Sam, one of our students has bought this in. I'm doing some work on it. He's had this absolutely years, and it's lovely. Bit battered, bit worn. And I like a marker too. It means it's been gigged, it means it's been played. But that is going to be having some setup work. And again, vintage design, made in Japan. And it's absolutely beautiful. But again, if you were to pick this up today, made in Indonesia, there are going to be subtle differences, but today's technology, I don't find that they're going to be dropping that much in quality. Perhaps you guys think differently? You can let me know. Oh. Blackburst, thank you very much. Blackburst, Adam, yes, that was the Harley Benton. Brad, I'm just coming back to you. $300 US is a value with little setup needed. US pounds are close. There's a logo on it. Logo love in the US. CNC has changed the cheap guitar market for the better. Okay, that's really interesting, that is, Brad. So, again, regarding that now, you think about how that moving forward with different brands and different things and tariff appeals and obviously all the other things that are happening in the world, there's going to come a point where, like you say, how much can we squeeze in for little value? Let's take technology, for example. Perhaps if you're old enough to remember the Nintendo consoles and some of the Ataris from back in the day, you look at what they're producing now, and to think how video games have moved on in, what, 30, 40 years now, and the same for the guitar market, but we still look very similar. A few little tweaks here, a few little customisations here or there. Thank you again, Adam. But it's something that's really, really cool, and I do think that the opportunity to upgrade has never been far wrong. It just says Flame Burst. Blackburst, got ya. Is that the low pro edge? Mike, I don't know what it is. I should know. I should know what it is, and I don't. Sam bought it in the other day. He had it from someone many, many moons ago. And that's, I'll say it's why I've come in today. I've ended up talking to you lovely people, which is more entertaining than cleaning. But if I just give you a little spin round, I'll sort of show you down here what's happening. So we've got Alistair's tailor that's been done. I'm going to put him out of the way for just a moment. See if I can find anything else about this. Made in Japan. We've got F7, F8. I'll do a Google screenshot on that a little bit later and find out what it is. But it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I don't know if the light's picking that up. It's absolutely stunning, that red. It is lovely. Zach, who's left the chat now, he asked what's the perks, the pros and the cons of this job. Getting to play everyone's guitar is absolutely fantastic. There's nothing quite like thinking, oh, I'd love to own one of those guitars, and then someone walks through the door with one and you get to own it temporarily. And it is great. The only thing it stops you doing is, I'm quite lucky that I don't lust after any guitars now. I'm very privileged. I've played everything. I've played them at £200. I've played them at £10,000, and we've had some very, very rare things. One of the things I'll be talking about at a later date, we're going to do a little video, is about the price of the vintage market. Things are shooting up, and some of the prices, how much more do we think they can go up? Because they are just really, really hitting sky high, well, records really. I've seen some things as of late, certainly some of the vintage 60s, early Strat stuff, some of the vintage Les Pauls. Makes you wonder how much longer it's going to go up for. But as a collector, if money was no object, you just would, wouldn't you? We've had colours. Do you guys like colours? What colour do we think that is? That's something that's coming. It's an SG Pro. And it's absolutely lovely. I'm going to say like a royal blue, like a navy-ish blue. You guys are better than this, better than me at this. So yeah, what do we think that is colour-wise? You can obviously let us know. This, I'll show you this. This is a really, really cool vintage Gibson case. So this was from the late 70s. And there was a pub landlord, Brad in the States, you probably call it a bar, we're a pub over here. You probably already knew that, so forgive my ignorance to the American culture. He had a pub over here, and this was found in the loft. It was a band at some point had been there and gigged, and this had been left. We think it's from the late 70s. It's got so much wear and rock and roll up it. It just looks absolutely brilliant. And yeah, so he was getting rid of this, and we said, please don't get rid of it. We'd absolutely love it. Oh, it smells like 1970 as well. Wow. Could be the 80s. We don't know. He thinks it's been up there since the late 70s. Again, if anyone can confirm the inside of a purple Gibson case, feel free to let me know what you think it is. There's nothing in there. No. But yeah, that was just going to be thrown away. And how could you throw anything like that away? It's beautiful. So we've been very fortunate to have that, and at some point I am going to try and get that put up somewhere. Right. So there's that. What else have we been doing? We've had Washburn. Any bass players watching? This is coming for a setup as well. I'll be doing a bit more of this on our Workbench Wednesday segment. Washburn Mercury series, again, vintage bass. Underrated brand, I feel, Washburn. You guys might think differently. Absolutely lovely. And this sounds phenomenal. Brad, you always suggest to me about doing a sound test demonstration when I do all my restring videos. You'll be happy to know this was the first one today that I've actually got me playing on the end of it. It's not very good playing, but I am playing on the end of it. So thank you very much for that recommendation. I'm definitely going to include that in some of the videos. So that'd be really, really cool. But yeah, beautiful. Washburn, very nice. What we got over here? Right, I'm coming back over here for a sec. Mike did a CNC engineering course at the Old Walsall College today. CNC machines are out of this world. There's just, I'll show you guys something. I haven't got it on me now. Someone did something with a CNC type. I'm not clever enough to understand how they all work. They put patterns on. They did all sorts, and I will show you. It's really, really cool. I'll have a reminder at some point. A lot of the old Ibanez's with Fuji, J&J, Craft and J Custom. My HM strap reissue was one of theirs. That SG is gorgeous. It's lovely, that SG. Don't know the colour. I will have a look at some point. But yeah, it's there's just that many guitars, that little time, and so much to do. So what started as a join us for a chat and I'll do some cleaning. I've actually done very little cleaning, so I'm going to do a bit of cleaning with you folks and probably wrap up shortly and let you all get back to your lives. So Adam, you're in good hands. Patrick, if you're still watching, your Fender's in good hands. Pete, your Epiphone, Gibson, how dare I insult you and call it an Epiphone. The Gibson Chibson is now done, so that's all sorted. All of the tailors are all done as well. So we've just got to finish putting all the stuff away. But again, thank you guys for joining us, really. It's I've never ever done a live. It's probably been totally boring for everyone, so I really, really am sorry if it's just been a waste of an hour of your life. But oh, Adam, what's Adam said? Sorry, one of those favourite guitars. Bettencourt, Washburn. Yeah, there's a player. There's a player alone. We were on about this. You talk about guitarists, and we always jumped at Hendrix and Clapton and all these kind of people, and it's great. But some of these guitarists, that's like a guitarist's guitar player. You find that there are certain heroes that just don't get talked about enough. So that's a good conversational topic, actually. We'll do that at a later date. Yeah, Washburn, absolutely great brand. This is what I had intended to do this afternoon, but my lovely, beautiful lady wife, who's probably watching or not watching, will no doubt be calling me for my tea shortly. Vintage 70s Antoria. We're going to be doing a full restring repair setup, and he's having some iron gear pickups in. People haven't heard of iron gear. They are really cool. They're very, very nice. I've done all the circuitry. That's my top tip. If ever you're doing any wires, make sure you create yourself like a little bit of a rig to use. You can have things that look like, just get a piece of board and just drill a few holes, and then you can at least work in that process. That's my little top tech tip there. But that's absolutely beautiful. We're going to be doing some work on that. But the plan for the rest of the day now is to get cleaned up, get everything done, and then effectively just get ready for trading next week. So we've got that much to do. I thought I'd try and get a head start, really, and get everything sorted. But again, for the live, if it's something you guys quite like, you do have to let us know. I'm just reading the other things we've got here. Come on, Jamie, show them my axes. All right, then, you've all been teased. These are absolutely beautiful. So, colour, I love blue. One of my favourite colours. So again, that SG is lovely. Said to you, I don't lust after anything, but if it's blue, there's just something about me and blue. I will at some point show you my collection. because I get to work on everyone else's, but I never actually get mine out. Right, drum roll. This is mic stuff. These are beautiful. That can go there. We'll start with the PRS mic. PRS, which I've got somewhere. There we go. Oh. Mike, you're going to have to educate the audience. So we have got these mics. I want to say it's charcoal burst. I'm probably going to get that wrong, and Mike's going to correct us in a minute. But that is absolutely stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And thankfully, we're not doing any pickups on that. We're just doing a setup for him. So, Mike, just confirm, am I right with that? Is it charcoal burst? Right, that's there. This is beautiful. The first one we've ever seen. And I'm hopeful if we get the time to do a full video on this, because it's just something we've never had in before. You are in for an absolute treat, folks. Right. Now, this is where I make a complete fool of myself. Caparison. I think it's a Caparison. It looks like Capri Sun, which is a nice drink, obviously, that we all know. I think it's Caparison. Mike will tell you the model in just a moment. Just have a look at that. Absolutely stunning. We're going to be getting that. Yeah, Caparison. Thank you, Mike. I kept calling it a Capri Sun. Don't shout at me on it. It's the way my brain looks at the words. But yeah, absolutely stunning. That is. It's phenomenal. Again, Mike's introduced us to these kind of cool straps as well, like the Damasio design. A couple of people have had this the last couple of weeks. I've noticed a bit of a trend with these. A lot more secure than just standard strap locks. But that is absolutely phenomenal. And it's not fretless either. No, it's not fretless. It's not. Let's have a peek at the board. That is absolutely stunning, the design. It is beautiful. I had a 30-second panic when you first bought it in, Mike. I thought, why have I got to set up a fretless guitar? I'm going to put that away nice and safe. Oops! See, you thought I fell there, didn't you? Thought I fell. Right, get him in there. Cool. Dan P990I. Whoever you are, please say hello. Yes, it's stunning. You've got Mike to thank for that guitar. It's absolutely lovely. Adam's in love with it. I'm not Franco the Knife. Superb. So yeah, everyone, there's more people watching. It's been so for you, lovely people watching. Because you're going to educate me. Are you just sitting at home and has it come up saying that we're live? Because I've never done one of these before, so I am really trying to learn as best as we can. So have you been sat at home and it's just gone, Jamie's live, or were you actually on the app? If someone wants to educate us, I would love to know how it is. So that's it. That's really, really cool. I've never seen one, and damn it's stunning. Adam's right. I hadn't seen one, and again, this is a thing as techs. You get a phone call. Hi, can you set a guitar up for me? Yes. How much do you charge? We charge X or Y or Z, and then they come through the door. And then as a technician, you always have an expectation. So let me show you what the expectation would be. It would be something like that. Beautiful. It would be something like that. Absolutely beautiful. What actually turns up is this. Not quite so beautiful, little bit dusty, little bit rusty, little bit dirty, but I absolutely love them like that. Oh, look at all that. Because we can get them cleaned up and get them back to normal, and it's fantastic. So I do love a job where we can really get stuck into it. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, got a couple of other comments. Let me just jump down here. Yeah, popped up on the feed. I think it's because I've turned all the notifications on for you. Ah, thank you very much. That's cool, because we always keep getting told to ask you lovely people to subscribe and like and put your thumbs up and all that sort of stuff. And that must be why. Then obviously if we get an example of you know, a new video going out, I suppose you guys get noted first. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. So we've covered a couple of things. We've spoke about the bench, the shop, how we operate. I was speaking to Brad. It's been lovely to officially meet you as well. Again, with a lot of you guys, if you're local, certainly Adam and Mike, I know you pop in. Brad from all the way in the USA is absolutely incredible. That we'd have never been able to do this without TikTok and YouTube and all this sort of stuff. And if you're anything like me, that's how I'm spending most of my evenings now. You're watching YouTubes and you're engaging in things and you're finding all of your information and you're viewing entertainment. It's not really the television anymore. I am finding other technicians. There are some talented folks about, and again, just great players. And it's the beauty of YouTube and social media when it's done in the right way. I think it is. It's just absolutely fantastic. It just gets you meeting and, you know, sharing stories with other people. It's been absolutely wicked. So thank you for that. And I now know that at least it'll pop up on people's things, so that's brilliant. I don't know if when I've turned this off in a minute, I'll be going very short. I'll let everyone go back to their normal day. I don't know if this will then stay on YouTube, or I don't quite know how it works. Hopefully it will stay on, because whether anyone would want to watch it back, I don't really know. But no, that is really cool. So we've covered some guitars, we've covered setups, we've had a little look at everyone's equipment. That's quite nice actually. We've got the Caparison, not the Caprice one. I'll call it the proper name now, Mike. Ad, you're in safe hands. Michael can test that my work is second to none. None really. It's not any good at all. So you'll be cool. Patrick's coming for his Tuesday. Sorry. Everything he's done for there. I'm probably just going to get cleaned up now for the rest of the day. So what's everyone doing for the rest of the day? What are we up to? And what's everyone doing? Keep doing what you're doing, Jamie. I've recommended you to all my friends. Bloody hell, Mike, you must have now friends then at that rate if you've recommended it. It's very good of you, sir. Thank you ever so much. It really is. Usually saves unless you private or delete them. No, I won't. I'll keep it up, and as I say, perhaps it'll be a segment that we do, you know, moving forward once a month or something. If we guys catch up and one of the evenings or one of the days. Again, if something you'd be interested in, let us know. We'll always try and do our little bits and pieces. But we've got a lot planned. So there's going to be, you know, new segments. There's going to be hopefully a little bit more of this. We've got merchandise bits coming in. A couple of people have asked. There's a guy called Steve. He's an American viewer of ours. And his name hasn't. He might be watching. I don't know. If you are Steve, hello, Steve. If you're not Steve and you're watching this later, hello from the past. And he keeps asking us every week, when can he have a mug or a mouse mat or an hat or a pin badge? So we have got some stuff coming in. So yeah, if you want a key ring, it's fantastic. Jamie told me. Mike, thank you very much. Can we get music then hoodies, Jamie? It's a great question. A couple of people have said that. So these are actually courtesy of my wife. So Abby, who you've seen on the videos, she does all these. So she does. Hopefully I've got another one to show in a minute. So she does all the patchwork. She does all the embroidery. She's very good at that. She's a very talented lady. Why she married me, I'll never ever know. But she does them all, and we keep getting asked about them. I'd like to say yes. I know Steve mentioned about the hoodies, and it's just something he'd really be interested in. If the fact that you guys want to walk around and promote it is lovely, it really is. And I'm going to do my best to see if we can get something done. Again, if you'd like a key ring or an hat or so, I'm sure we can sort something out. It's no problem at all. But it really is fantastic. Brad, great first live. Keep up the good work. Brad, thank you, sir. You're lovely. We absolutely love you. If I ever come over to the States, I'll drop you an email. I'll let you know that we're coming. But it's really cool. And again, for a lot of music shops, I like to think that we're quite traditional in the sense of when I first started going to shops, pre-working in one and owning one with my wife, it was always like there was always such a converse nature. You'd meet a guy who was on tour, you'd meet someone who'd been playing to it, you exchanged a couple of licks, there was some tips, there was some really cool stuff that was happening. And that's what you do, you'd pick up little tips and tricks, you'd grab phone numbers. Oh, if ever you need a bass player, here's my number. And that was great. I used to love that bit of the shop, that kind of communal aspect about it. And I think that's what's probably missing a little bit now, and it stems back to Mike's conversation earlier about since the COVID and how it's affected people. And as a shop, we're just very fortunate to have you lovely people sort of week in, week out. It's absolutely great. I absolutely love it. I'd wear them at gigs, but they'd never book you again, Mike. And I doubt they'd book you again if you were played. But no, it's brilliant. We at some point will get something done. Abby makes these for us, and I'm sure she'd love to make 4,000 of them for everyone else. But I'm sure we can find hopefully a local firm that can produce a couple for us. That'd be really, really cool. But now, Brad, thank you for as well to Brad for finally grabbing your name. Brad, I always know you're as flaming undies. Some of the names are absolute corkers. You start reading them and it's just absolutely brilliant. It really is. So yeah. So guys, what do we reckon? Would you like to see something on a semi-regular basis as a live? What would you like to all see in terms of moving forward? We do our sort of weekly vlogs. We do our setups. We do all the things that we do. We've obviously got the sales side of the shop. We've obviously got the lesson side. We'd love to get the tutors involved a little bit more as well. They are lovely, lovely people. And at the end of the day, it's my face that they see, but they are the lifeblood of the shop. Right? Without them, we wouldn't open. And again, to all the students that watch us and you lovely customers that are watching today, it's exactly what it is. You are, well, we're fortunate enough to see you, and we've just got to reciprocate and show our appreciation for it. And this is, we love what we do. It's absolutely wonderful. But if there's something you'd like to focus on with us, or something you'd like to ask, like a little Q&A session, we'll do it at some point. For anyone that was late joining us, I've probably wiped it off the board now. Yes, I have. I wiped it off when we was having our venue conversation. They were on about, could we do a day in the life, or could we do a couple of different segments that come through? We'll do our best to try and get a few things for everyone. And hopefully it's just entertaining for I don't know what you guys would usually watch. There's probably a box set you could be watching or streaming on Netflix that's more entertaining than me. Oh, crikey, we've got a few here. Definitely more lives. Thank you very much. Looking at all these guys, it's great. Some belters. There are, Mike. There's some lovely bits. And again, obviously the Workbench Wednesday segments that we do, it's just a portion really of where we are and what we do. And the live thing would be quite cool. Someone had suggested earlier, I think it might have been Zach, do like a live setup. So, come and set up live on the bench. And we'll show you that, probably a bit like your pink strat, it doesn't always go right on the first attempt. I think that'd be quite interesting to do. But yeah, no, we'll definitely do this again. It's been absolutely fantastic. I am probably going to get cleaned up though, because my wife will be going absolutely balmy if I don't actually do some proper work. So everyone can see their guitars. They're all being worked on. They're all wonderful. Ad, I'm with you next week. Patrick's done his coming in. Pete's done, he knows about that. Mike, I'll be on yours obviously at some point. If we get the time, I'd love to try and film them. That's the plan. I think that's everything I've done really. We said hello to Brad. Yes, live setups. Okay. No rush. See, this is great. I haven't got to call you. I could just go live. And I can't be bothered to ring you. I really can't be bothered. Your guitar's done. Can you come and collect it? So that's what we'll have to do. Something like that'd be wicked. Yeah, live setups. That'd be quite cool, Brad, actually. I'd quite like that. I'd also like, at some point, I think it'd be good to get, don't chuck those guitars about like the LAX baggage holder. Yeah, I know. I got your comment, Mike, on that. It was, I saw that. So I'll tell you a story about it. So with these reaction videos, let me tell you what happens. So we come in, obviously, to work as normal, and we'll check like the update to the day and sort of guitar news and what's happening. And I was scrolling through social media and it just come up, and my heart absolutely sank. I agree with that. Yeah, it was painful to watch. And again, have you guys ever experienced that transporting? Have you ever had a break or a damage or a problem? Oh yeah, we've had a couple in. We've had people that have been on tour and they've got to one part of the UK. They've come out the tour bus and something's been dropped or banged, or we've had guitar techs for bands. That's always a really good customer chat when we'll have techs come in, and there'll be American band might be over perhaps. We had a couple of guitar techs in for one of I think it was Slam Dunk Festival a number of years back, and the techs had come in because they needed some spare strings and they were driving from Birmingham. Why they ended up here I'll never know, but there must have been an issue with travelling, and very often you get to catch up with those techs, and it's wonderful hearing some of the stories of how the players have their guitars and what they do. It is fantastic. But yeah, they've all said the same thing. It's the baggage handler thing. Not everything gets looked after. The techs can do their job, but the transport is obviously the transport. But thankfully, we're not opening up any airlines anytime soon. Keep it in the vids. They're a right laugh. They are my. It's the most unprofessional thing in the world. As head of marketing, I'd be probably sacked. I really would say it's just not something that people have probably done. But we are, what you see is what you get with us. It's exactly that, really. But now, thank you for you guys for watching. I'm going to leave everyone to it, as I say now, and you can all go and do whatever you're doing. So this week we've got Workbench Wednesday, which ironically will be on Wednesday. We've got, I think there's a couple of setup videos. There might be a reaction video to some other shenanigans in the guitar world. Whatever's happening, we'll probably do something for. And then at some point, I'll schedule in some of the ideas we've had today for different videos. And so I think the idea of a venue conversation would be good, Mike. That's brilliant. I'll have to look at trying to get the guys on the gym. We'll do a little bit of a not like a podcast, but we'll get a couple of people on and we can just chew the cud about music. What do we think's going to happen? Where is it going? Is it still what it cracked up to be? Brad, boy, sir, thank you ever so much for taking the time to view us, and I'll no doubt speak to you at some point. It's been lovely to officially meet you face to camera. So thank you very much, Brad. Have a nice time. Ad, thank you very much. I'm sure it was a totally rubbish stream. I'm sure there's much better things you all could have been doing with your time. But yeah, thank you ever so much. I've never done it before, and I just thought we'd give it a go. It's just something different for us, really. So I've really enjoyed it. So everyone's all going to be going in a minute anyway. Mike, thank you, sir. It's been lovely to chat to you. Who else have we got? Whoever else is in the chat that hasn't put the name forward, please feel that you can do. But thank you very much to everyone. I'm going to get cleaned up. See you probably on one of the videos or one of the lives. That we will do another one at some point soon. But drop us in an email. What would you like to see? What topics do you want covered? Perhaps we'll have a hot topic of the month. We'll just have a live segment where we catch up with what's gone on that month, and we can just chat about all things that are music shop or playing. So absolutely fantastic. Just going to check everyone's done. Wasn't rubbish, pal. Looking forward to seeing more. You're an absolute gentleman. God bless. And obviously, you'll now direct just best wishes to the family at the minute as well. I hope everyone's all right, my team. Thank you ever so much for, like you say, you've got more pressing matters and you've took the time to view us. Greatly appreciated. Thank you ever so much. See you lovely people soon. I don't know how to end the segment, but I'm going to go and try and end it now. So thank you very much, guys. See you all soon. And I don't know why you ain't tidied up. You could have done. You've just bloody sat there and watched. That's just that's ignorant. That is. See you soon. Thank you very much, guys. This has gone cold. Better go and get a fresh one. Bye bye, folks. Bye bye.